Good evening. My name is Robert, so I'm the chair of the Underhill Selectboard. Today's date is the 24th of July. It's Thursday. It is 6 o'clock here in Underhill Center. We have a regular schedule. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Underhill Selectboard. There has been an agenda that has been provided in advance of this meeting. Are there any changes to the written agenda? Seeing and hearing none, we'll get right to it. Is there any opening public comment? Virtually, I don't see anyone other than Maureen and Dan, who are joining us remotely tonight, and Donna with MMCTV. Is there anyone here that would like to talk to us about anything? Okay. Well, we're going to do an interpretive dance here while you get situated a little bit, and then we will move on to the next item. Do you have anything that you'd like to change in the agenda or anything like that? Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the Deborah Rawson Memorial Library to discuss regarding exploratory work underway regarding a possible expansion of the current library facility. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to us about that? All right. Welcome.
Okay, my name is Sharon Lockwood. I'm on the Deborah Rawson Memorial Library Board of Trustees.
And I'm Holly Hall, I'm the director of the library.
So we asked to come to talk to you tonight, and I have a prepared statement, but then feel free to ask us any questions that you might have. So the Deborah Rawson Memorial Library has been a part of this community for 27 years. In that time, we have become a valuable resource for the community. Of course, we have books, and that includes audio, online, magazines, and newspapers. But we are also a community gathering spot, used for public meetings and programs that entertain, socialize, and educate our patrons. We are a resource for people needing internet, people looking for a spot to work, a cool respite in the heat and warmth in the winter, tutors tutoring their students, young families enjoying time with others, and groups meeting to socialize and expand their minds. With the expanded usage of the library, it has become apparent to us that we need more space. Staff space is dysfunctional, and we have no more room to expand our collections. People trying to work at the library must share space with other activities. We've had to turn away people from programs due to a lack of space, and programs in the fireplace room often run at capacity. As a result, we are looking at expanding the library and renovating the current space to better accommodate our patrons and our staff. We held 2 community member meetings in June to kick this off, and the response was really exciting. We have grant money available that will allow us to work with the community and an architect to envision what we need and what we can afford for an expansion. We have hired Wyman Lamphere Architects to assist us and the community with creating a vision for the library. This is not going to be a quick process, and it will involve lots of outreach with the wider community. Our initial thought is that we will engage in robust fundraising to help pay for some of the expansion, but then we would need a bond to pay for the rest. At this point, we do not have any indication of cost or a definitive timeline. It depends on the input we receive from our community, but be assured we have conveyed to the architects that we will need to find a cost-effective solution to whatever we end up doing. And our kickoff meeting for those architects will be at the beginning of August, so look forward to that. Any questions? Comments?
Thank you for coming in tonight, especially on a nice, hot, steamy, it's always nice to hear from the library folks, on a nice July afternoon, evening. I have none. I don't know if anyone else on the board has any questions at this time for the folks from Deborah Rawson about their proposed expansion.
I do have a question. And first, I just also wanted to say that, I see and agree with the need for an expansion and appreciate what a valuable resource the library is to Underhill and Jericho, and how grateful we are that we have such a robust library providing such robust services. Is there any anticipation about the timeline of this project, or is it still sort of too exploratory for there to be a timeline?
Well, we're going to meet with the architects. We've hired them, right? We're going to meet. Our kickoff meeting is August 6th, I believe. And at that point, they're going to kind of lay out the process for us. So we should have a better idea of a timeline after that. But since we want to also engage in fundraising, we need to include enough time to be able to do that. We're looking to actually hire a fundraiser, and help us with that process.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If there are no other questions,
Okay.
we'll let you guys get out and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello?
Oh, Dan?
Hello?
Sorry, Dan, I didn't see your hand.
Yeah, that's okay. It's hard to get used to this again. Anyway, I don't have any questions. I just want to applaud the library, its board, and its staff for the excellent work that you do, because it's no surprise that you need to take these steps. Things are crowded. Things are efficient. That's why people come. And, I just want you to know that I, for one, throw my initial support in for whatever project you come up with. I like your process in getting feedback from the community, getting some ideas from an architect. And, I think it's all good. And I'm looking forward to helping you as you get your teeth into this.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
My last comment.
Oh, go ahead.
My oldest child is 24. I've lived in town for 25. I'm surprised you're only 27 years old, given how much you were up and running when I got here. And really want to echo other board members as well. You're a valuable resource to our community. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay. You'll be hearing from us.
Thank you.
Good.
Next item on the agenda is the 2025 Harvest Market. Review and authorize the subdivision of VTRANS 1111 permit.
Jamie. Hi, my name is Jamie LaBerge. I am the new chair of the Underhill Harvest Market put on by the UCU Church every year, replacing Dave Cliff. So, yeah, we are submitting an application again for the no parking signs along Route 15 during the Harvest Market, which is going to be September 7th and 28th this year. This will allow the passage of vehicles through Route 15. We're also doing again, the traffic calming on Park Street, which is the cones to slow folks down and still allow passage for emergency vehicles if there's the need. And we'll be closing down the little, I guess it's called the hook or the spur, excuse me, that goes between the common and the church building itself for dropping off, entertainment and that sort of thing. But yeah, we're looking to have that approval so we can submit to VTRANS to put up the no parking signs and just have the town's general support of the Harvest Market again.
Thank you, Jamie, and welcome to being the chair of the Harvest Market. I know it's an event that many look forward to participating in from Underhill and Jericho. So we can get this started with some discussion possibly. I'm going to move that we authorize Brad to sign the VTRANS 1111 permit and to sign the letter of support for the 2025 Harvest Market. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of the motion to support and authorize Brad to sign the VTRANS permit and to sign the letter of support for the 2025 harvest market, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Those opposed with a nay. Motion carries 4-0. Well, thank you, Jamie. That was pretty easy.
Yeah, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad we were able to get through that.
Thank you, Jamie.
On those documents.
Thank you.
Sign those documents, I'll email them to
Mhm.
you. When you submit them, you want me to submit them to VTRANS?
I can submit. to
Okay,
VTRANS.
just copy me on it.
Exactly. Yep. Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, the next item on the agenda is to review and execute the Pleasant Valley Road paving grant agreement. That was in the packet as well. I'm getting caught up here.
Yeah, you're well into the agreement, Bob. I think it's before you
The
passed it.
motion to,
Oh,
approve.
sorry. Yeah, at the end. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It'll be there.
We'll get there eventually. Oh, here we are. Move to authorize the chair to execute the paving grant agreement for the Pleasant Valley Road as submitted. Is there a second?
Second.
second.
Oh, seconds all around. Any discussion?
I'd just like to say a couple things, Bob, if you let me.
Sure.
So additionally, you've got some, when we first applied for this grant, we were under the impression there was a lot thicker pavement. However, the grant doesn't really specify the pavement depth. So, but I did include some exploratory stuff Mike Weisel and I did. So basically the first section from the first segment, basically by Jackson Hill north to Harvey Road, is about 12 inches thick on average, 10 to 12. And then it's 8 inches beyond that all the way to the end of the segment. So that possibly might change the way we approach this. You know, I talked to Tyler Wickham about it, and so basically when they mill, our plan was to mill 8 inches off the top and then try to reclaim what was left. So neither here nor there, we're going to negotiate with Tyler to see what process. Either way, the road is going to be fully reclaimed down to the sub base. I will share with VTRANS what our pavement depths were, just so we're very transparent here. But I don't believe it's going to change anything. So once we sign the grant, I will send it back. Then it gets fully executed by the Secretary of Transportation, and then it's good to go.
Thank you, Brad. Any other questions or comments about the motion before you? If not, are you ready for the question? Oh, Dan, go ahead.
So I have a couple questions. One question is, when was the last time this was reclaimed? Do we have records for that?
I highly doubt it's ever been reclaimed. With 12 inches of pavement, and you think about when we started paving roads, I would say I'd say it's, my guess it's never been reclaimed. Reclaiming wasn't a very a common practice 50 years ago, right? So we just started paving roads really in the 30s and 40s. So I would believe this is original pavement.
So our records today and current are really going to be more accurate, and we're going to be able to predict the future for this road a little bit more accurately.
Yeah, that's the goal, is like, so I had a hammer drill that I used to use surveying. I bought a couple batteries for it. It's my drill, I bought the batteries. The town bought a bit, and it's a useful tool. We know exactly when we get to the bottom of the pavement, we log it, Mike and I are planning on doing that for all the roads. So we have an idea of, okay, are we just shimming and overlaying over 4 inches, over 8 inches, over 6 inches? What do we have down there? So, yeah, it's very good information. And we're trying to compile as much pavement information. My goal would be to go back in the select board minutes. You know, you kind of look back, you know when the paving cycle is, so you know kind of roughly what month to look for in select board minutes. And just try to piece out what we've done in the past.
My second question is, I'm a little confused by the motion, because I had thought we had been awarded the grant. And I'm thinking that we're wanting to apply for it now. Do we have to
No.
do-
This is execution of the grant. We need to sign the grant agreement.
Oh, okay, so we've been awarded it, and now we have to sign the agreement, and then we're good to go.
Exactly. If we don't sign the agreement, we don't get the money. So we
Okay.
sign the agreement with the conditions. I send it to VTRANS. The secretary signs it, sends it back. We're good to go.
Well, I'm going to vote yes then.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Ready for the question? All those in favor of authorizing the chair to execute the paving grant agreement for the Pleasant Valley Road as described in the packet, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed with a nay. Ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. That motion does carry. Next is Highway Supervisor, Russ Clark. Review and approve the fiscal year 26 line striping quote.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, so I have a quote from Frank's Line Striping, who has been our vendor for as I have been here quite a while. We didn't this year, but we did try in the last 2 years to get competitive bids. However, not very successful with that. There's not a lot of people that do this, or it's not a big enough job for the other ones that are out there. So I did not get other bids. I just went back with Frank's Line Striping, who has done a very good job for us and would like to continue with this vendor. So,
All right. Thank you. I'm going to move that we accept the line striping estimate from Frank's Line Striping in the amount of $2,170. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Maureen seconds. Any discussion?
Just a question.
sure.
How much of our roads does this cover?
How much does it cover? Well, it shows like there's stop bars, which go right in line with the stop signs on certain places. So really, it's blacktop roads where there's crosswalks. I know you weren't on last year, but we had a lot of crosswalks that were not legal. So we had a lot of painted crosswalks that we did our research and worked with the state to revamp our correct one. So basically it does right in the center of town, Park Street, that kind of area by the school.
And the state sprayed the center line on class 2 roads. They do that as a service for us. We didn't have to pay for that. That got done today.
Right.
They don't do the fog line. They just do the center line.
I think that's all.
Yeah, just this. Well, they have done the fog line in the past. So this road really doesn't meet the threshold for a fog line. It's there's a certain 3,000 or 3,500 trips a day, and this is right on the border of that for fog line. But I believe they do come back with the fog line. So they have to do yellow first, and they'll come back with their white setup and go off the center and set the lanes.
Thank you. It's a little little deceptive as far as line striping. When you think line striping, you think of it being the road and not the stop bar and the crosswalks and all of that kind of stuff, but all important stuff nonetheless. Any other discussion?
I just have a quick one is that I don't know how, and I've been keeping track, are the lines out in the town hall parking lot here, they look okay? Russ thinks they look okay.
I backed in fine tonight.
Yeah.
But no, they do.
Okay.
Dan, you got a legacy hand up, or you have a question or comment? Go ahead.
I have a question. I noticed that somebody's been throwing down paint already, and they're doing an excellent job, and I don't mind. Is Frank just, on top of it and knowing that we wanted to do it?
I think the paint that you see is coming from the state of Vermont. The state of Vermont has done River Road and Pleasant Valley as it's a class 2 highway. And Frank's isn't painting the fog line or the center line. He's going to do, or they are going to do the stop bars and crosswalk, hash marks and all of that type of thing.
Okay, I got you.
The
School zone,
school zone, things
all
like
that, stop ahead.
Okay, it's different paint.
Yes.
Correct.
Well, they're doing
Yeah.
a good job.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Ready for the question? All those in favor of the motion to approve $2,170 to Frank's to get the striping done, please signify by saying aye.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, moving on. Thank you, Russ. Next item is the town hall renovations and painting. Jennifer is here, ready to go. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming in
Yes,
tonight.
it's wonderful to be here on this balmy summer evening. So I wanted to update you on the exterior painting and also take the opportunity to just have a quick begin a discussion about this room that you're in here, the great room, because it's time to just talk about it again for a moment and update you on where we're at. So first of all, we did secure the painters for both the post office and town hall, and anticipate that the town hall painting will happen in the exterior after the repairs. So probably mid-August will be completed, and the post office will be done probably in September, based on when the painters were available. So that's the status there. And as far as the great room, which is more what I wanted to talk about, many months ago, I sent out an RFP to 12 different companies. 8 of them were ones that I had that were recommended through Preservation Trust of Vermont. So they were companies of different sizes. They weren't even all in Vermont, but that have expertise in doing renovations on historic buildings or buildings with historic significance, and old buildings. So not one.
Pardon me, this usually is a emergency number, but pardon me. Hello?
So not one of the people of the companies I sent to, big or small, actually sent in a quote. But I did speak to and follow up in email and on the phone with several of the companies. And the reason they didn't come back with a quote was unanimous. And that was they didn't feel like they clearly understood, even though we have all the architectural drawings of what we want to do, they didn't feel comfortable putting a number down. And the reason was unanimous, and it was because of this floor. So what I would like to do is get the board's approval to go out to bid on just pulling up a section of this floor, figuring out what the structure is underneath, and then getting some quotes to just replace the floor so that we have a foundation from which we could then move forward with the renovation, because we made no traction on the bigger project. But we clearly know that this floor is an issue. So that's what I wanted to just talk to you guys about and see if we could move forward in that direction.
Thank you. So we have two bites of the apple that I feel that we need to deal with. One is the painting and the other is this floor. So why don't we deal with the painting first and then we'll come back and discuss the floor. So I'm going to move that we hire Mr. Paint LLC to complete the required schoolhouse roof painting. Oh, my head?
Yeah, you're ahead of yourself, Bob.
Well, why did I do that?
That's a different subject, I think.
It is.
It is a different subject, but it's in here. Yeah. I was going to move that we take care of painting of this, but it's in the packet.
We can skip it. I mean, skip back.
No. Does somebody have the motion that they could read?
There's no motion.
I don't have a
Oh, there is
motion.
no motion.
Yeah, I don't have a motion. I just wanted to start the discussion because
Oh.
no one came back with the quote for the RFP, but we don't want the project to completely stall out, since we have earmarked funds to, at least start the project. We paid the money out for the architect and design, but nobody bid on the actual project.
So we don't need to approve or anything like that for the
No.
painting on the outside of the building. So that's already done.
That's all been done.
Perfect. So discussion about the floor seems like what you're proposing is logical. And I would support that. My only concern is that having an open floor with an occupied building is not ideal. So if you're going to open the floor, then safety measures would have to be in place to prevent children or anyone else from coming in here that's not necessarily authorized. And we don't run into a situation that could turn to be, catastrophic for someone potentially. So I would hope that if this is approved to open up this floor, that, some type of measure would be in place.
Well, the good part is we have this back entrance. So we
Yeah.
close everything off. And then the contractors would be the only one going through the back entrance. And then that could be blocked off
Yeah.
with a gate or something.
Yeah.
We'll definitely take safety precautions, and whatever contractor we hire, it's not going to be, us here picking
Well,
up the board.
it would also impact the others that utilize this space, this body in particular, and the yoga people and anybody else
Yeah.
that may want to use this for a memorial service or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've spoken enough. Anybody else?
Okay, so Claire, you're jumping ahead to during the period that the floor is being renovated. I'm assuming that for opening up and seeing what needs to be done, I have the assumption that was open up the boards, see what needs to be done, put the boards back, all in the same.
I would,
Well, that's my goal.
yeah, we don't know what's going to happen once they start pulling the boards up, but if they did, they would only need to pull up a section to see what's going on underneath and make some assumptions. We also have some drawings that were done, I forget how long ago, but I have some drawings that show some of that. But I think in order for us to actually get a quote on, repairing and replacing, I think we need to have a better picture of
It could
that.
be like, just take a quarter it out here.
Yeah,
And cut out a 4x8 spot, put
Right.
plywood back in it for now. And then,
yeah.
and then they know what they're.
It
gonna
might not
do.
look pretty, but we would make it secure.
But it's got to be done no matter
Right.
what. So it's either now or not.
Jennifer, did you get the sense from the contractors you spoke with that once there was more information on the floor, they would be willing to submit a bid?
Yes,
Or at least, okay.
yes.
Okay, because I think that would help a lot if we, I think we have to we don't want this to stall out at this point. So I think, then I think doing the floor first makes sense, especially if that's what's going to get us the bids from the other people who will do the full project.
And I also believe that, the floor is kind of like the big question mark. Anybody can take a good solid surface and build something on it, but nobody can build on something they don't know what's underneath. So,
Got
And
it.
another thought is, say we get all this out and we replace the subfloor, maybe we'll just operate on the subfloor for a while until
right.
then the floor is done. I don't think any contractor, if I was a contractor, I would not bid on this floor. I'd do it time and material with a trustworthy contractor. You could lose your shirt, you know? So why would you want to do that? So that's why nobody's bid on it, I think.
Yeah. That was pretty clear.
Okay.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Bob. So first, I want to thank you, Jennifer, for keeping a hold on this bone because I know how those things go. And we've been kicking this around for a while. So thank you for doing that. And I agree with Brad about the floor and the subfloor. If we just contract somebody to with an engineering background and flooring to do the initial thing and build the subfloor, whether that is plywood or hardboard or whatever they think needs to be done, then it'll be easier to bid and find out what kind of floor we want. But that's all done. But I agree, we have to find out what's underneath. You can't do any planning with knowing, with all those question marks.
So I believe, thank you. I believe it's a consensus of the board to go ahead with the exploratory work that needs to be done to see what's underneath this floor so that we can obtain a bid.
What I would propose is I will reach out to several contractors and see if who's interested and if we can get someone to come in and do the exploratory piece and come back to you and say, here's what that's going to cost, and have you approve that expense. Even though it would be part of the whole renovation, it's still an expense that I would want the board to approve before we do that. And then after that, we would go through a bid process, not necessarily an RFP, but get several quotes on someone to come do the actual floor.
Do we want to do that, or would it be more efficient to authorize up to a certain dollar amount to say, we authorize you up to X to utilize for the exploratory, and if you need additional funds plus X, then to come back to the board, but we would give you X authority to work with whoever the contractor may be to do the exploratory work? I'm just looking at efficiency.
I don't have any idea what it would cost.
Say it's $1,000 a day. Say it took 2 days to cut
Right.
4 spots in the hole at $2,500.
Yeah.
That
So
seems fair.
I was wondering if it would make sense to authorize up to $2,500 to, for the contractor to do exploratory work to get the floor up to C. And then if it costs more than that, after then come back and say, it's going to cost 26 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, take up, like we just talked about, you're made in the
Yeah.
4 corners, just pick 4x8 and then cover it with plywood for now.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move that we authorize up to $2,500 to be utilized for the purpose of doing exploratory work for the floor, with the understanding that if it needs more, for Jennifer to come back to the board for additional approval. Would there be a second to that?
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
The one thought I'm having is we have a number of people who are employed by Birdseye Building Company, who also does historic renovations, living in this town, my spouse included. I would be interested in approaching them to ask for them to donate time and materials to do the exploratory.
I know several people work for Birdseye too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a great thought if they would be.
So with that being said, I have no problem with asking,
Right.
but do you feel like we should still have this authority in place so that in the event, I'm just looking at efficiency and time.
Yes, exactly. No, I think we should still approve it in the just in case. They are extremely busy right now, and it might not be possible. But if it were,
Sure, why not?
great.
Yep.
No, it
They'd
doesn't hurt to
certainly
ask.
be able to give us a great opinion on what we're looking at. No
Yeah.
question about it.
Yeah.
I know their reputation.
So I'll do that piece of being in touch with Birdseye.
Okay.
And mostly
we
to
can
get them in touch with you.
communicate.
Yeah.
Sure. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
Erin has her hand up.
Aaron does? Okay.
Hi, hey, just real quickly, Shara's microphone is not perfectly, could
Too
you
far
point
away.
it towards you?
Thank you, Erin. Is this better?
Thank you, much better, thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? Ready for the question? All those in favor of authorizing up to $2,500 towards the exploratory work that would need to be done to see what needs to be done for the floor here at the great room at the town hall, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, the nay. Motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you.
So
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah. And the next thing is the roof.
the roof,
The roof.
it's not
The
on
roof.
fire.
The roof is on fire.
It better
Um,
not be.
No. So, moving on to the roof of the post office. I mean, the Historical Society roof, which is very old and has been in need of this very special paint material. Roger went and met with, I don't know how many painters. He also talked to a bunch of painters that didn't quote, and nailed it down to Mr. Paint, who has experience with this product, who we worked firsthand with. He was part of the crew that did the painting here at Town Hall in the interior. So we've all worked with him before. And so that was the information packet that Roger supplied you.
So I'm going to move that we hire Mr. Paint LLC to complete the required schoolhouse roof painting as detailed and outlined in the estimate for total amount of $9,850 with a completion date requirement of 12/31/2025, and further authorize Jennifer to sign the estimate that is attached. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second it all around. Any discussion?
No, I just wanted to note, just sort of for the record, that the, as you kind of lined out in the memo here about the estimated cost being above what was initially budgeted, but that is still under the overall amount for the schoolhouse budget for the year. And I think that seems like perfectly reasonable and it makes sense given the cost of the lift. But I'm glad there is a sufficient amount in the overall budget for the schoolhouse to cover this full cost.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Dan?
you.
I'm not sure if that's a legacy
Dan?
hand, Dan, or not, but
I have my hand up.
okay.
It's a fresh hand. So I just want to applaud Roger for all the work he did in that memo and all the work he did in talking to people and the Historical Society. They're doing a very good job of caring for that important building. And I just want to put that in the public record. And I am happy to vote yes for this allocation.
Thank you, Dan. Any other comment, question, concerns? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of the motion to approve Mr. Paint LLC, as I pull it back up, in the amount of $9,850, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed with a nay. Motion carries 4-0. Wow, that takes care of that. Next, review and sign the contract for consulting services for the statistical reappraisal. We have a contract for consulting services from Thomas Vickery to assist us with the reappraisal and authorize the chair to sign the contract. So I'm going to move that we hire Tom Vickery to assist the town of Underhill statistical reappraisal and to authorize myself to sign the contract. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by. Any discussion? Seeing, hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of signing the contract for Thomas Vickery to assist the town of Underhill for the statistical reappraisal, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the nay. That motion carries 4-0. All right. Now we get to Brad's favorite part of the meeting, the town administrator's items. There's several. Take it away, Brad.
Okay, so I included your packet. There's two new changes, or a couple changes to the open meeting law and executive sessions. So when they update the law, they tacked on two more sections or two more letters. So you're looking at Act, I don't have my notes in front of me because Bob has them, but so Act 51, was it?
51, yep.
Okay, so Act 51 clarified executive sessions. That's where we're supposed to call it proposed executive session. And that's where we're supposed to also state the business we're going to undertake. So if you go back to the old law, 313, I think Title 1, 313, explains there were eight or nine items where executive session is applicable. And then in Act 51, there are two additional items. So you have to group all those together. It's the way the law is written, kind of confusing, but it's important. The most important thing you need to do before entering executive session is to determine why the discussion needs to be an executive session and why might it put the town at a substantial disadvantage. So typically when you do an executive session, you kind of prove it out. You have one motion to state what you're going to do, and then another motion saying that why the things you're talking about would put the town at a disadvantage in general terms. So, however, what I am a little confused about is I think things arise, and when there's so you can't just stick an executive session tentative like a lot of people do. Jericho's done that forever. You need to specify why you're doing it. However, I think if something comes up in between the time the agenda comes out and the meeting date, you could state that we would like to add an executive session in adjustments to the agenda, because that is also included in the executive session language. However, you would need to be prepared exactly, what that's going to be. So if anyone from the board is thinking about wanting to have an executive session, if you let me know ahead of time roughly what it's about, is it a personnel thing? Is it a legal thing? What is it? We can figure out the language for that motion.
Brad, thank you. Do you think it'd be wise for us to incorporate these changes into our select board rules of procedure so that it's very clear for us that we know that that's how we're going to do things going forward?
Yeah, it's a good idea. I didn't think about that, Bob, but it's a good idea. I believe our rules of procedure, directly reference Title I, Section 313, but I'll look at that. I'll look and see if there's adjustments that need to be made. We can make them. Yeah, especially with the proposed executive session part.
Yep. And if we need to, we will. And if we don't, then we don't.
Right.
Could
Yes.
it be as easy as the changing being following Act 313 and Act 51?
Yeah, well, really, once the law books are updated, Title I, 313 will state what's in Act 51. So, Dan, did you I see your hand up.
I do have a question. I have two. And the first one is, and I was reading through the executive session thing and what you can have executive sessions for, and it didn't have personnel issues. Am I missing something?
Yeah, no, I prefaced that in the beginning when I was talking, maybe you didn't catch it. So when they update, those are additions. So you need to go back to.
Oh, okay, so you can go
3.
back to the old things
Yes.
and have the new things. Okay, that
Yes.
answers my question.
So as
My,
soon as the law is updated for the new books, it will state all of that, including Act 51.
and my other question was, they spent a lot of time on training, required training. And I know
Yeah.
we did one years ago. I think that was with VLCT, was it not?
Yep.
And
So
I don't know
that's
what
part
that
of
training costs us.
that's the second part of what I'm talking about. So I believe the chair needs to do a specific training regarding the open meeting law, and you're all are welcome to do it. But what you all are obligated to do is the required ethics training. So it's basically just, and you've probably seen some stuff come through on your VLCT website about it. But before September 30th, you just need to sit down and it's just a short online thing that you go through. I think Sherry did it, took her half hour. If you need help with, I think I put the link in there where you can go. If you just, the PDF has links. So it'll go and you can just crank it out, but we need to make sure everybody gets that done by September 30th.
So are we going to have a group thing like we did in the past, or is the online ethics training going to replace that?
It's just individual. So the chair is obligated to do a little bit higher level with open meeting law, but I'll work with Bob on that. But you all just, for now, I would just concentrate on getting that ethics training finished. And just follow the links in the PDF that I provided in the packet. And if you have any trouble, let me know.
If we could all agree upon getting that done, I have a problem with procrastination sometimes, or at least I've been told that. So if we could collectively say that we're going to have this done by September 1st, and then if we don't, then, Brad can, come and throw tomatoes at you or something like that, But if we could say that we would, as a group, that we'll try to get this done by September 1st, and then that will give us 30 days to, apply equal pressure on whoever needs to help getting that done. Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else, Brad?
Not on that.
Okay. Any questions for Brad on ethics? Here we go. Next one.
Okay, so Bob was emailed and I was emailed and Sherry and a few other people about the FEMA Preliminary Flood Hazard maps. So these are updates from 2011. So in 2011, when I was surveying, the town contracted with me to review the maps. And I found I had many comments, and I found many things that were mismapped and very erroneous. I've reviewed these preliminary maps so far, and I think they're very well done. I'm not finding, there's a couple more things I need to check, but I'm not finding anything out of the ordinary. So this is the preliminary process. We have basically 30 days from the time the letter came out, which I think was July 1 or June 30th, to comment. So I will have a couple comments if you authorize me to make comments. Then you'll see there's a list of what's called LOMAs, or letter of map amendments. You see those addresses with the names. So those were residents that were removed from the floodplain after the 2011 maps. So every time there's a new map, so just say you get removed from the floodplain, and surveyors do this work. I get hired to come in, I map the property, I submit an application to FEMA, I prove that based on the data, the topographic data and their levels of their home, that it appears to be that they're out of the floodplain. So FEMA reviews that application and approves it. However, once new maps come out, let's say 2026, unless those old LOMAs, those old letter of map amendments are grandfathered, they would technically be no longer valid. So they're only valid for the effective date of the map, which is 2011. And half of those you see on the list are mine, ones that I've done. So anyway, I put some links, or the maps are up on the website. You can certainly take a look at the index and squirrel around, but they're very they're a little bit difficult to read and difficult to understand, but I think I'm impressed with the mapping myself this time. Same company that did it in 2011, but I think we have better data now. So if you allow me, I'm going to make a few comments, but all in all, I think they're pretty good.
Thank you, Brad. Looks like we need to move to authorize you to provide comment and feedback to FEMA regarding the preliminary flood hazard draft map. So I'm going to move that we do that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that?
The only thing I will add just to that is there'll be a time for the community to look at these too. So this is our first pass at it. If they take my comments and make some changes, then we're going to have a public forum where people will be able to come in and view the maps.
Sure.
And that was actually my only question, was about whether there was a public feedback opportunity. So that covers that. Thank you.
Any other questions about the question before you? Not, are you ready for the question? See? Question. Here we go. All those in favor of authorizing Brad to provide comment and feedback to FEMA regarding the preliminary flood hazard draft map, please signify saying aye.
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 Those opposed, the nay. Motion carries 4-0. I feel intimidated because town moderator's here, so I feel like I'm tripping over my words, but I'll try to do better, Dan.
Smoothest thing I've ever heard.
Okay. So the next thing is to view the preliminary maps and indexes. You got that, so we don't need to take any action on that per se, right,
Nope.
Brad?
Nope, that's right.
Okay. Next one's the Harvest Crossing, right?
West. Come on up.
I wanted to see that.
Well, I appreciate that. It was a little, otherwise cool. I heard it was okay to wear shorts tonight. I was told that, so I feel that's good. Normally I try to dress up for these meetings, but anyway. All right, you want the quick story?
Hit it.
This is a select board softball. We need to name the road into the development where we plan to build affordable housing from Route 15. I believe it's 422 Route 15, just beyond the Underhill fire station there on that side of the road. The road will go down and the houses will be built down at a sort of cul-de-sac arrangement at the end of that road. We have been calling this project for these many years Harvest Crossing. And I think that was sort of a connection to the church's harvest market and the idea that this road with affordable housing might be a crossroads for people's lives. And so that was kind of the theory of how we came up with Harvest Crossing to begin with. Too bad it doesn't work as a road name. It doesn't work because for 911 purposes, we're sort of like right next door to Harvest Run, and there's confusion, conceivably between those. So in the interest of public safety, we need to come up with another name. So our planning team worked on it for, these many months at church and finally settled on the idea of Sunrise Crossing. And the logic of Sunrise Crossing is if you look down at that field, the orientation of the field is just about as close to north-south as you could get. So the sun is going to rise and it is going to cross over the area where the homes are built. And we preserved the crossing name in it so that, it has that connection as well. I have run this idea for a name past Amanda Bosley, the town 911 coordinator, to see if she spotted any conflicts. She didn't see, and I didn't see any with road names in Underhill. She also thought it did not conflict with Jericho road names that she was aware of. The only, I think the closest thing was Sunnyview Drive in Jericho. But I think it's probably enough difference between Sunnyview Drive and Sunrise Crossing that it would be unlikely that anybody would get those two items confused. So all of this is lead up to, we're getting very close, I think, to being ready to submit our final proposal to the Development Review Board with all the plans. And it would be helpful for us to have the accurate name of the roadway to be able to be included in the plans. And so it requires a select board approval, and I'm here to ask for your approval for the name Sunrise Crossing.
Well, thank you, Dan. Is the board prepared to take action on this item and to move on this request?
I think the motion as included in the packet, that we approve it, but it is subject to the Development Review Board approval. I think I feel comfortable moving forward in that capacity.
Okay.
I had a question, Dan, about, and I think you answered it. You approached that. I was wondering what a crossing was. And I see what you're talking about, the sunrise. And that sounds like it's good, good imagery.
Yeah, I think you could call one of these things, you know, that looks like a roadway that cars drive on. It could be a road. It could be a lane. It could be a boulevard. It could be a turnpike. It could be a way. It could be a crossing. I think it could be pretty much anything you care to make it. And we thought with the image of the sunrise crossing over the field and the historical reference to the project we've been calling Harvest Crossing, it made sense.
Very good.
Good thinking.
No connection to Camp Sunrise.
Not that I'm aware of, but if you'd like one, we could also claim that as well.
I'm going to move, nonetheless, I'm going to move that we approve the name Sunrise Crossing for the development road that will serve as the Harvest Crossing Affordable Housing Project, subject to the Underhill Development Review Board approval. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Maureen. Any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Sunrise Crossing being the approved name, subject to approval by the DRB, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, the nay. Motion carries 4-0. Well, we have a new name.
Have I said thank you very much? A pleasure to do business with you as always.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Have a good evening. You guys are good. Yeah, it stumps me with a question.
I'm trying to listen to something.
I believe it.
One word.
Hi, Dean. Hi, Dean. I've seen you've joined us. Would you mind just muting your mic until you're ready, or until we get to
So the
closing public
next
comment?
item there, Brad, is the new national opioid settlement notice. We've been provided a notice of that settlement. Would you like to bring us up to par on that?
Yeah, so this is, Jennifer and I looked at this. These have come across our desk before, and I can remember consulting with Joe McLean, our attorney, years ago on one. We opted not to do it. If you go into these documents, there's hundreds and hundreds of pages of congressional stuff. I've gotten 2 or 3 emails asking me to DocuSign something. I'm hoping that VLCT is going to come out with some kind of, some kind of guidance. I'm a little, sure, the state is poised to get a lot of money and it'll trickle down, but I don't know anything about that. We have we don't have pharmacies in town. We don't have treatment facilities.
Nice.
More. I'm sorry, Dean, but can you please mute your mic, please? Dean? Okay, so I just don't know what it's all about. And I know that if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. There's probably a lot of strings to this, but before we go spending hours and hours of time we don't have, I just wanted to get a sense for if anybody else has heard anything. We could put the feelers out to some neighboring towns to do. Okay, Dean, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to mute you because you're interfering with the meeting here. So we'll be at closing public comments soon. So I'm going to mute you in the meantime, please. So I just, we'll try to get some more information. I think the deadline was September 30th. I just wanted to see what your comments were.
Thank you, Brad. I have no comment at this time other than it looks like there's going to be some required documentation that will need to be signed around the 30th of September, and we haven't been provided with that documentation to sign one way or the other, correct?
Yeah, but there's hundreds, 700, 800 pages of documentation that go along with it. So it's like you're signing something that we have no idea.
So if we could possibly check in with the league, cities and towns, and report back if they're going to be helping us out with any of that, or if we're just going to maintain kind of a wait and see approach.
Yeah, or do we even qualify for anything?
Sure.
I just don't know enough about it, but I thought I'd put it.
Yep, no, it's good to put it on the record for sure. Any other comments about that from the board?
No, I think it's wise to not invest too much staff time into this, given that Underhill is not a likely, given what you said about a lack of pharmacies and treatment facilities or kind of things in that vein, that I think is maybe not. And though there was previously a treatment facility in Underhill, but I think I think the league might be our best bet for anything else, or any other local towns. But I think sort of a wait and see approach feels like it probably makes the most sense given the quantity of paperwork that would be required. I think that makes sense. Thank you, Brad.
I agree. The league does have a task force for this, the Opiate Settlement Dollar Task Force. I opted not to apply because there were also other representatives already on it who work for the same agency I work for. But I also agree that Underhill currently is, we don't have pharmacy, we don't have the treatment center anymore. And while the state is looking at getting a lot of money, save it for the places that need it.
Very good. All right. That's all we got for that. Thank you, Brad, as always. Next item on the agenda is the closing public comment. We have no one here at the town hall.
Well, no, hold on. We had Dean here. Let me just get Dean back up. Dean's disappeared here. Dean, can you, we're ready for you now. Dean had mentioned that he had emailed me and said that he would try to log on during the closing public comment. Okay. So I'm just trying to see if I can get him back up here. I had to mute him. Sorry, Dean, we had to mute you because we're getting a lot of background noise from you. I can read basically, Dean had emailed this morning. He said, can you put regular grading on Irish Settlement Road on the meeting agenda, please? We've even had residents write poetry on Front Porch Forum about poor condition of the road. I've written you many times about the issue the last time unanswered. And then I said, hi, Dean, I'm happy to bring it up under correspondence tonight, or you're welcome to come or remote in to the, okay, Dean's here. So go ahead, Dean. We see you now. I was just reading your email from earlier.
Dean, you're being recognized and you have 3 minutes. Dean, we're recognizing you. If you'd like to give public comment, then you would be allotted 3 minutes for public comment. Last call, Dean. It seems like we have some technical issues going on, but you're being recognized for public comment. We have read your letter into the record, so it'll be our last and final call to speak if you wish to, and we authorize you up to 3 minutes. Yep, go ahead.
So I did say, I said, hi, Dean, I'm having to bring it up in correspondence tonight, or you're welcome to come. I'm sorry, here, So what I told Dean was, I'm happy to bring it up under correspondence tonight, or you're welcome to come or remote in to the opening or closing public comment period. He said, thanks, Brad. I'll try to log in during closing comment period. And we see you, Dean. Can't get into a closed meeting. Our meeting's not closed. We hear you, Mike. We can hear, it sounds like children in the background or noise. This is not a closed meeting. This is a public meeting. Your mic appears to be active. Please say something. Donna, are you hearing us okay?
Yeah, I can hear everything fine. I can't hear Dean saying anything, but I hear the rest of you.
Okay.
I apologize, Dean, for the technical snafu. Unfortunately, we cannot hear you, but we are going to move on with the agenda. The next item on so the closing public comment period is now closed. The next item on the agenda is to review and approve the warrants and approve the minutes of the July 10th, 2025 regular meeting. So I'm going to move that we approve the payroll warrants dated July 14th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the payroll warrants dated July 14th, 2025, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed with a nay. Motion carries 4-0. The next is the warrants dated July 21st, 2025. I move that we accept those as submitted. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of the warrants dated July 21, 2025, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against with a nay. Motion carries 4-0. I move that we approve the warrant dated July 24th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the warrant dated July 24th, 2025, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay? That motion carries 4-0. I'm going to move that we approve the July 10th, 2025 Select Board meeting minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. Is there any discussion?
I'm going to abstain from this, so we might need to do a voice vote on this one. I was not present at that meeting.
Okay, thanks, Maureen. Any other discussion? All right, ready for the question? Roll call. All those in favor of approving the July 10th meeting minutes? Bob Stone, aye.
Shara Trul, aye.
Dan Steinbauer,
Maureen
aye.
Collins Kolb, abstain.
Very good. Motion carries 3-0. No, 3-0-1. All right, Maureen. I'm going to get it eventually.
Yours.
All right. I think that's everything on the warrants. And that. Member items, correspondence, announcements, schedule. The next scheduled select board meeting is set for the 14th of August at 6 o'clock here in beautiful Underhill Center. Anyone have anything else?
I just had some correspondence, I'm sorry. But I also wanted to repeat here what Dean did write in the chat box. He said, Brad Holden, I don't want to waste any more time trying to get into this obviously locked down meeting. I just hope the town will consider grading Irish Settlement Road more often. So again, this is not a closed meeting, just for the record. I think you're logged in twice, Dean, just to let you know. So there could be some issues there. I'm not sure what the issues are. I did receive a complaint, and I could just state what it is briefly, and we could address it at the next meeting.
Is it a written complaint or verbal complaint?
It was a verbal complaint.
Okay.
So I received a complaint regarding unregistered vehicles and lots of campers and boats and so forth on the property located at 3 Irish Settlement Road.
Okay.
So in the town right of way, yes, in the town right of way. So, and that's right at the corner across from the school, the Underhill Central School. So we can, I can put that on the future agenda.
When did that complaint come in, Brad?
It came in a few days ago, and I told the fellow that I would get back to him. I was busy with training Maya and never did get a chance to get back with him. It does not fall under the under zoning violation. It would fall under the nuisance ordinance with the select board, if anything. So I will call him tomorrow morning. He called again today. I will call him again tomorrow morning and just give him an update what's happening.
Very good. Any other news, correspondence, announcements, any of the sort?
I just want to try it one more time, please, if you would bear with me. I'm going to try something, Dean, and if I lose you, it's not that I'm doing it on purpose, but I see you're logged in twice. I'm just going to try something. Okay, Dean, do you want to try it again?
Hold on, Brad.
I'm just seeing if I want to prove that our meeting's not closed, but
I've already ruled, and we're moving on. Motion to adjourn is in order.
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. It is now 7:15. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.